What is going on, everybody? It is the Full Throttle Hog, and I'm coming back to you with a second video of the week. That's right, number 2. As I always say, actions speak louder than words. I plan on putting out more than one video a week if I can. And today, I'm going to show you how I get photos to look like this for Instagram. So we'll get into that in just a second. But first, if this is your first time here, I'd like to say welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit subscribe down below. Hit that bell icon so you know every single time we do a video. On this channel, we talk about everything motorcycle related. We do bike review, product review, and we dabble in a little cinematic adventure, as I like to call cinevlogs. So would appreciate it and love it if you would follow along. So if you watched the previous video, you know I was kind of up in the mountain area, and I thought I would talk to you a little bit about how I go about getting some of the photos for Instagram. Now I'm going to give you a caveat right now. I am not a professional photographer. I still have a lot to learn. I've only been doing photography for about 3 years, and there is a lot of things that I need to learn and that I strive to learn. So I do enjoy it, and I want to get better at it, but these are the things that I do, and trust me, if I can do it, anybody can do it. But typically when I'm going out and about on a little bit of a ride, especially if I find some of these back roads, I am always looking at shadows and light. And I try to think during golden hour, and golden hour, for those of you that don't know, is pretty much the 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after sunset, or some people say it's only an hour before sunset, but 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after usually does the trick for me. That's when you're going to get the softest light, and that's when you can actually get some banger photos for Instagram. So for me, I typically try to look at different areas that I want to come back to during golden hour, and that's what we're going to do right now. So what I do is I find a little place like this and try to set something up. I look at different angles, and I take a look at the camera. I do a couple tester shots, and it really is all about luck. I mean, there are those people, and I've gotten lucky before, where I can just wing it, pull out my camera, snap a photo, and I'm like, boom, that is phenomenal. But other times, it takes some work. It really does take some work. So with that, I thought we would take a look at how I am getting my Instagram photos, and we're going to take a couple shots right now. So I put things up on a tripod just to get the best shot possible, so there's no vibration and things like that. I just have a little Gorilla Pod that I keep with me on the bike, and I go through my app. I'm using the Nikon Z6, which has the SnapBridge app, and allows me to take photos right from the app. So we get that set up. I can kind of look and focus, and then I go from there. I also try to take multiple camera angles because I don't know which one I'm gonna like at the end of the day. So yeah, I know, hair's still a mess. I'll show you right now a little bit on how I edit the photos. I don't use Photoshop. I actually not very good at Photoshop, but I use Lightroom. So I will show you a little bit of that. So now that we're back in studio, I'm gonna go ahead and show you exactly how I go through Lightroom with the photos. We'll do it step by step together, and this is just me. The good thing about this is where your personal style comes in. It's all subjective. This is where you get to be creative. Me personally, I can't even draw a stick figure, so my creativity comes through the lens and just my thought process there. So let's go through this together. The first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go in here and let's go ahead and crop in the image a little bit, and let's try to see how we can get just enough of the bike in there to where it still kind of looks good and kind of fills that frame a little bit. So from there, we're gonna go ahead and adjust this just a little bit, just so it sits a little more flat. Might be a little bit too much here. Let's go right about there. Sure, that looks good. Then from here, what we're going to do is I'll just start with some auto correction. Usually when I start off, I just start off with some auto correction, and then I will go in to the effects controls, and I always start, me personally, with dehazing. So dehazing, let's go try to find out exactly where I think this looks kind of good. Get that haze out of there. Kind of contrast that image up just a little bit. And that probably looks good. And then I'll go into texture and I will bring that up. Usually if there's no people in it, I usually go around in the 60s. So in this one, let's go up to about 63. Then in the clarity, I don't mess too much with the clarity. I will bump it up just a little bit to right about there on this photo. That looks good to me. And then we will go over to light. Now with this, especially when you're posting onto Instagram, it seems to darken up your images a little bit. So what you're going to want to do is just bump up your exposure just a little bit, just to make it pop a little bit. I will then go into my curve and my curves, my light curves, and I will put in a little bit of an S curve into here. Something like that looks pretty good. I will then go back over to my effects tab and I'm going to add a little vignette just to make that pop. Something about there looks good to me. And like I said, this is all subjective, so whatever you want to do, this is where that creativity comes out. I'm going to go into my detail next and I'm going to sharpen it up a little bit. I will bring my sharpening up to about there, and I'm also going to mask that sharpening just a little bit, about 43. So to me, that's looking really, really, really good. I usually go into my optics, I remove the chromatic aberration and click that on and I enable the lens corrections. But that's pretty much it. I'm pretty satisfied. You know, if I wanted to go crazy and I wanted to mess around with like my colors, I could do all that. I could make it real, you know, bright. I could go down and make it cooler if I wanted to. But with that, I mean, I really like how the photo turns out with no adjustment to the color. So that's pretty much what I do with this app, and this is the final product. But that's gonna do it for today's video. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit that bell icon so you know every single time we do a video. Check out the sunset.